Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. If you struggle with food and weight like I did, welcome home.
Welcome everybody to the Heal Your Hunger Show. I'm so happy to have you here. It is a great day to be alive, and there's some really good stuff to cover today. So I'm excited about today's topic. And I just want to tell you that if you are here at the Heal Your Hunger Show for the first time, welcome. How nice to have you pop in. So the Heal Your Hunger Show is about addressing and healing the underlying causes of emotional eating, because our problem is not food. Our problem isn't even weight. My experience is overweight comes from overeating, and overeating comes from what's eating you. So that's what we talk about here. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Please rate the show. Please give us, 5 stars. We'd love it. So other people know this is a good place to hang out and learn. Also, please share it with your friends and leave a review. So we love you and we appreciate you for that. And I also record this in the Secret Sauce group on Facebook. So if you're not there yet, please join me there. So I do these recordings live in Facebook so we can keep the conversation going and people comment. And it's a beautiful community. It's a good place to start in terms of really addressing the real issues. And I love that you're here trying to heal and get the information you need for your healing journey, which goes so beyond food and weight. It's really, really about healing from the inside out. So let's jump in. Hey, and good morning. Good morning to all my friends in the Secret Sauce group. Great to see you. I am popping in here on Monday morning. I may cough a little bit because I am just getting over being sick. I was sick all last week. Yeah, there's nothing like being sick to make you want to go eat to make yourself feel better, right? Oh my gosh. And thankfully I didn't do that, but I was home all week long and on the couch for 3 full days feeling absolutely awful, just like dog poo. And so, that's my most vulnerable time, right? Is when I feel sick, and I get that a lot from my clients. Like, what do you do when you're down for the count and you feel sick? So, I'm a big proponent of sticking with the 3-meal magic plan, even if you don't have much of an appetite. Just keeping the regularity of the meals, even if they're small meals or whatever the meals are. That has saved me, and that helped me a lot through all last week. And my voice is still a little congested, but anyway, I want to pop in here because I have a really important message for you today to take with you, and that is what to do with when the waves come. And if you're here, I'd love to hear from you, so please pop it into the comment section. I'd love to say hi. If you're new to the Secret Sauce group, or if you're just here and checking out this message. So the message is important. As emotional eaters, we emotionally eat, which means we turn to food when we have strong emotions. So much of the time in our lifetime, we're looking for the diet, we're looking for the quick fix, we're looking for the exercise plan, and we do nothing about the emotional eating. We do nothing about finding emotional balance. And a diet will not give you emotional balance. Sure, if you're not eating sugar, you're not doing the highs and lows of, putting that stimulant in your body that will then cause you to crash and burn. That's a roller coaster ride that sugar takes us on, sugar and processed carbs. But putting that aside, as emotional eaters, we are emotional people. And if you don't have a plan and a way to ride the waves, the emotional waves that come, every little thing is going to drive you to food. And that's what happens, during the pandemic. I must have heard at least 100 times, no joke, 100 times, I was doing great until the pandemic hit. Okay, because it was the beginning of the year, 2020. Yeah, I'm on my new diet. I made my resolutions. And then March, lockdown, pandemic, don't go out of your door, you might die. So, you know, that threw a lot of people into a tailspin of eating. And if you're one of those people that put on 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds during the pandemic, you know what I'm talking about. And frankly, people who even weren't typically considered emotional eaters were emotionally eating because the pandemic was sending them into a tailspin. You know, and I hear time and time again, and it, not necessarily the pandemic, I was doing great until my husband lost his job, until my kid got sick, until my mom died, until we had to move, you know, until my spouse died. And so if you're an emotional eater, you know, your MO is to eat when life gets tough, to eat with every wave that comes. And no diet or exercise plan will get you out of that pattern. And if you're, you know, just going from one quick fix to the next, you're never going to reach your weight loss goals if you do not find a way to ride those emotional waves. So, so important. We cannot, you know, we can't lose weight in a vacuum. We can't sequester ourselves in our house away from all stress and trouble that comes. And so we have to find a better way because stress and trouble will come. Life happens. But as emotional eaters, you know, when life is what triggers us to eat, we have to find a way to deal with life. Now, my clients know I say often, this is a living problem, not an eating problem. And what I mean by that is it's life that gets us into trouble, right? Food is just food. It's just sitting on the counter, sitting in the break room at work. It's just food. It's just an inanimate object or substance. But when we are losing control of food, it's really our inability to process life that's driving us to the food, that's causing our food cravings. So it's a living problem, not an eating problem. So I am bringing your attention to this week because I want you to start addressing your living problem. If you don't have healthier tools for coping with life, if you don't know how to ride the waves, you're sunk. You're absolutely sunk. Every wave is gonna take you out, take you under, like an undertow. So I don't want that to happen to you, but we got to be dealing with the right problem. You know, don't be looking for a quick fix. Look for a lasting solution. That's what I want for you. No more quick fixes. Quick fixes don't fix anything. They don't give you an ability to cope with life without resorting to food. And isn't that what we need? Don't we need a way to deal with our emotions, to deal with the stress of life without turning to food? I think so. You know, and my being sick this past week, that was life happening. I had no control over it. And I had this terrible chest cough and lost my voice. Couldn't do my classes for my clients. Had to get some very capable and wonderful coaches to step in for me, my beautiful Heal Your Hunger coaches. But life was happening. Life was in session, and I had to roll with it without turning to food. And obviously, there are worse things than getting a chest cold and losing your voice. So how do we deal with that? How do we ride the wave? Well, it's really important to know that we struggle with food and weight because we're reacting to life's stress by eating. We're getting triggered by life, by things that are hard. So I just want to draw your attention to your feelings and to your reactions to life as it happens. Okay, I have, you know, there's people who in my program who, you know, somebody says something and then they want to eat, right? Somebody looks at them funny and they want to eat. Something happens in their life and they want to eat. And that's the pattern we're interrupting. We must interrupt that pattern. So what are you going to do instead of eat? Well, if you've read my book, you know about the 6 self-care success secrets. Vital. And I don't wait till something happens to apply those success secrets. I start my day with those success secrets because we need to get grounded. If you were popping out of bed in the morning and going about your day, you're off kilter. You're already off kilter, okay? So what we need to do is we need to start taking a look at how we're starting our day. Friends, as emotional eaters, we're very sensitive to stress. We're very sensitive to emotions, ours and others. For those empaths out there, we're taking on people's energy all the time. What are you going to do to protect yourself from other people's very strong energy, their rage, their anger, their frustration? How are we going to keep them from taking it out on us, or at least from us? How are we going to protect ourselves from taking it on? So my experience is I have to start my day with self-care. I have to get grounded in self-care. I have to get grounded in who I am. So when somebody else tries to make me somebody I'm not, or project their stuff on me, I'm like, no gracias. Not my stuff. Not my stuff. But I have to build into that through my self-care secrets, through my meditation, prayer, spiritual readings, writing, talking, walking. These are the things I do in the morning to get still and quiet and centered in God. My divine spirit, I got to connect with that. I need conscious contact with my divine spirit in order to get the grounding and the protection that I need to say no gracias to other people's stuff. It doesn't just happen. I'm a former people pleaser. As an emotional eater, I was always saying yes to everybody. I was always running around doing cartwheels, trying to please people, taking on stuff that wasn't mine, doing projects that I shouldn't be doing, that I should be letting other people do, or delegating to others. So I have to start my day getting grounded in who I am as a child of God, as a loved being, and as somebody who's enough without people pleasing. One of the biggest error beliefs I had is that I wasn't enough. I didn't think Tricia Nelson was enough as I was. And so I was running circles around everybody, trying to please everybody to get a feeling that I was good and valuable and loved. Are you doing that? Are you running circles around other people, overdoing, over-pleasing to prove your worth? It's a big downfall of emotional eaters, and it leads to emotional eating, because when we are exhausted from overdoing, when we're exhausted from trying to prove ourselves and our worth, because we don't think we're enough, nobody makes us do this. Let's be clear. We're not victims here. We choose these patterns because of that deep lying belief that we're not enough. I was always on the go trying to prove that I'm good, because in my heart, I didn't believe it. So getting grounded in the morning, getting still and quiet, connecting with our divine spirit, that helps us know who we are. All right. And we have to go through our day with some bit of knowing of who we are. I read spiritual literature to be reminded of who I am. I'm not all that I do. I'm a child of God, and I'm loved and worthy just as I am. So I have to get grounded in that so that I'm not out there, being triggered by life and by other people's agendas and opinions. It's a living problem, not an eating problem. If you want to stop getting tipped over by the waves, if you want to stop being pulled under by the undertow of a big wave or a current, you're going to have to get grounded in who you are, okay? And be reminded of who you are. One of the reasons why my programs are done in community with other emotional eaters is because we remind each other of who we are. Nobody's in my programs, and we get on Zoom, we have these calls together on Zoom. Nobody's in a bad place all at the same time. Some people are in a good place, some people are they're struggling, and so we lift each other up. We lift each other up so that we're reminded of who we are, and that we don't have to prove our worth. We're worthy as we are. But if you're somebody who gets tipped over by the waves, every time something troubling happens, you're in the food. That's a pattern. That's a long standing pattern that has to be broken. My experience is our compulsion to eat comes from three places. Comes from buried emotions, from stress, and from habit. So we have to change that habit, but we have to have new ways to cope with stress and buried emotions. That compulsion inside that says, feed me, I have to eat now. That's like a monster inside of us. But it doesn't just happen. You're the product of years of bearing emotions, years of stressing yourself out, overdoing and trying to prove your worth, and years of just habit. Have an uncomfortable feeling, go to the refrigerator. Have an uncomfortable feeling, go to the refrigerator. Are you picking up what I'm laying down here? Please put in the comment if you are, the comment section. Love to hear from you. So I'm going to make this short and sweet. You have to change your patterns. You have to start addressing those emotions in a healthy way, and you need a way to lessen your stress. Otherwise, every wave that comes is going to tip you over and pull you under. I don't want to be a victim to life's circumstances. I didn't gain weight in the pandemic because I had a new set of coping tools. Food was not the way I coped with the pandemic. Thank God. Thank God. My clients lost weight during the pandemic because they had new coping tools to deal with the pandemic. Thank God. We've got to get new tools. If food is the way you deal with hard situations, you need a new way to deal. You need a new way to deal. And prayer isn't going to be enough, by the way. Prayer is one of the self-care success secrets that I write about in my book and I talk about in my program. It's not enough. Okay, I can't do it just me and God. God will hold up his end, but I can't hold up my end, and I need people. I need people and I need a plan. A step-by-step plan to follow that gives me new tools and helps me develop new habits. And that's what I want for you. It's vital. If you're running around looking for diets, the diet won't give you those tools. It won't give you that plan. Sure, it'll give you a plan for eating, but how are you going to follow through on it? As emotional eaters, we're not stupid. We know what to eat. Every woman who comes to my program is very educated on nutrition. She's read 5 to 10 books on nutrition and what's healthy and what's not. And if you read, there's over 60,000 diet books on Amazon right now. If you do a search for diet books, you're going to get 60,000 results. They all kind of say the same thing. There's no real news on diet. Eat vegetables, eat fruits in moderation, eat good proteins and fats. Boom. Slow metabolizing carbs. Boom. There's not a lot of real revolutionary science around how to be healthy. So we know what's healthy and what's not, but we can't do what we know. And that's because of that compulsion inside of us that demands that we eat heavier, starchier, more ooey gooey, chewy foods. And that compulsion to eat comes from not having the tools to address our buried emotions, to lessen our stress, and to change our habits. So that's what I want for you. It comes from the inside out. My program is often referred to weight loss from the inside out. And if you don't want to be taken out by the waves that come in your life, you need to get grounded first thing in the morning with a plan for connecting with your divine self and not reacting to stress. My experience is you need community. Community is vital so you can get reflected back to you, your worth, because we don't feel worthy in and of ourselves. So when you have other people smiling at you and telling you you're good, you're worthy as you are. You don't have to run circles around everybody to prove that. And when we have new tools in our toolkit to address the stress and the waves that come so that we can ride them instead of being sucked under from them, that's how you heal. And it's a beautiful process when you realize your problem isn't food. Your problem isn't eating. That's what you do in reaction to problems in your life. We have a living problem, not an eating problem. And that's what I want to help you heal. So hopefully just bringing your attention to this will help you this week. Redirect your focus. Observe when tough things happen, when news comes, when somebody looks at you the wrong way. Observe what's going on inside yourself. Usually they're very uncomfortable emotions. Observe that. Observe that feeling of uncomfortability and pause, right? Put a stop, interrupt the pattern of, I feel uncomfortable. What can I eat? All of a sudden I'm hungry. Just a little pause to observe that process, that knee-jerk reaction to things that are hard. Just that can help you start to make changes. So please reach out for help. If you don't want to do this alone, if you're tired of trying to do it alone and knocking your head against the wall, please reach out for help. We're always here for you at Heal Your Hunger. I hope you have an incredible week. I love you so much. And it's time to ride the waves instead of being taken out by them. Have a great week. Love you so much.
If you enjoyed this podcast and want to get free support, insider health info, exclusive invites to events, and more, visit healyourhunger.com.